Hello, people. Good evening. This is me, Melky, again. So I watched this clip, Joe Rogan's conversation with Dr. Jordan Peterson about moral relativism. So the moral relativism issue is when someone say there's no right and wrong. If there's a group and they think, like for example, eating a human being alive is right, then it is right. You cannot say that it is wrong because it's relative. You gotta respect their their decision of doing so, on believing that it is moral. Like for example, there are certain tribes in this world, there are certain groups of people in this world who thinks that eating dogs are okay. So relative to their backgrounds, um, actually you cannot say to them that eating dogs are wrong. So that's moral relativism. And in this conversation, Dr. Jordan Peterson proposed that we could feel we could figure out right and wrong. Okay, there's this there's this events in our life, like when we're playing a game or we're in our workplace, and we can feel it, like some minutes of it where we are so fully engaged and we feel so immersed in it. We could tell, right? And he talked about the Taoist symbol. Have you ever seen that? The yin and yang symbol? And like this, there are two fish, like there's a circle and there's a black part and there's a white part, there's two dots, and there's a pot in the middle of it. So Dr. Jordan Peterson said the pot in the middle symbolizes the place where we are supposed to be at, and that is and we can feel it. We can know when we are at that path. That is the right path, and we can figure it out. Somewhere between chaos and order, there's this sense of meaning uh, that we could feel. So, so I just want to share that. I think it's an interesting topic. It's an interesting subject because personally, I came from one of those guys, those guys who eat dogs. Okay, I'm in Indonesia. I'm a Christian, and there are some group of Christians, a lot of groups of Christians people in Indonesia eat dogs. They eat bats, and I ate them. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna comment on how it tastes, but then do when I ate that, do I feel that it is right? Do I feel like honestly I didn't care. I didn't feel anything. Like it is just normal. Um, you know what? I'm gonna segue a little bit. I'm gonna propose to you my own moral relativism. So I believe in right and wrong, the ultimate right and wrong. There's an ultimate right and wrong in this world. However, we as a humanity don't have the all the technology we need to be there yet. So what's moral is the improvement towards there, and what's immoral is the regression from there. That's my proposal. So let's say, for example, if you take a bath, you're killing millions of self-preserving organism, microorganism living in your skin, and that is not ideal. But we just don't have the technology of living to our fullest without taking a bath if like so every so often, right? You just don't have the technology, and the moral thing to do in this case is just keep on taking a bath and keep figuring out how to live in a computer or living in a machine where somewhere in the future we don't have to kill in order to keep on living to our fullest. But the technology is so far off. Okay, so why worry about it for now? There are a lot of things that we could focus on, right? You get what I'm saying? So back in the case of eating dogs, right? Like if you're poor and dogs are the only food available for you, I'm not gonna say that you're wrong. And if that is your culture, that is your lifestyle, and suddenly people, just because a lot of people say that that's wrong and should not do it, I'm saying, I'm not saying that you I should just keep on eating dogs. I think you should consider, but don't berate yourself saying that you're worse than these people, or these people are more advanced than you and they get to say everything, they get to decide whether or not you're a good person or not. So don't really really just don't go there, just don't go in that rigid pyramid game where you're lower than somebody, somebody else is more superior. I mean, some people just like to do that. I mean, some people just, it's a hobby, but just don't take it as a permanent reality. Okay, it's so fluid. And but I still agree, though. I still agree that there's this thing that is there is one thing that is right, ultimately right, and there's one thing that is ultimately wrong. From my perspective, you can figure out in the sense of meaning, right? So what is meaning? Meaning is when something is meaningful when it changes your order of priorities. Like we as human beings, we got bored, right? We innately unsettled if level of priorities of things in our life stays the same for certain periods of time. We're not gonna settle for that. We just can't. We have to go about our ways to find meaning. So we find something that could change, that could sustainably, that it's a good idea, that is appropriate for us to change some things in our life, the order of priorities, our focus, and that thing is meaningful. So I think it's tied in a way that reality works, right? Reality always changing, but it is always, there's always a good idea and there's always the bad idea. Okay, uh, there's we could figure out which way is improvement and which way is regression. And okay, let's say for example, COVID. Oh my God, I'm saying the C word now. Okay, so let's say this virus thing, right, that is happening right now. In the future, in the future, is it, can we keep on living with this system though? Like this health system where when you're sick, you go to the hospital and you pay after you they gave you medicine and treatment. Like, what if in the future we pay maintenance tax, right? Like these people are always ready and we pay for the always readiness. You know what I'm saying? Like these people are qualified and they're always ready for you, and it is a service, and it is only makes sense for us to keep on to give the maintenance fee, right? Like just a hospital in your community, in your nearby your property, will influence the price, will influence positively on the price of your property, right? So why not? Like I do think that these people deserve these things, right? You know what? It's 10 minutes. I'll see you again soon. Thank you. See you.